Наталя Володимирівна, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning
Okay.
to everyone. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Lada. Good morning, dear students.
So this is 8:30. I think we can officially start. Before that, let me once more introduce our guest, our speaker. It's a graduate teaching assistant at the writing program, English Department, University of Arizona. First year PhD in second language acquisition and teaching, University of Arizona. And the present today is Natalia Kosharna, who is the head of Foreign Languages and Methodology Department. Lada Patrick, senior lecturer of Foreign Languages and Methodology Department, and Yulia Viktorovna, just in case you don't know me, senior lecturer of Foreign Languages and Methodology Department. So I invite our dear guest, and I'm very pleased that she can be here today and present the topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pani Yulia, for inviting me today. I'm super excited. I prepared my presentation. To be honest, I didn't have much time to do that because great student life and it's the end of the semester and I'm handling some paperwork and stuff. Yeah, I am excited today. I hope you'll not be judging harshly. I am going to share my screen. For me to be able to start my presentation, I need at least a few people to join the presentation because it's like an interactive platform where if you scan this QR code, you should be able to be a part of this. I don't know if you can see my screen. Okay, cool. I'm seeing some people, and by the way, as you can see right here, the names that are popping up, they're all anonymous. So you are Kind Parrot, Crazy Lamb, Eating Actor, and all that stuff. So that you can answer all of my questions anonymously and not be worried. So we'll find out because there is no way to do that. How many people do we have today? Do you want me to wait for everyone to join? Yeah, I think it says 15, right? Oh, okay. Okay, I think 16 is right because I'm seeing 15 participants, including me, but I'm also seeing 16 people in the presentation. I think that's gonna be fun. I want you to join. Okay, cool. If you're ready to start, oh wait, so we have more than, okay, I'm gonna zip my mouse and wait. I don't know how many people we are.
If you need less, we can do less or more.
No, that's fine. I don't think it has but it probably has a limit, but not like a crazy.
Okay.
I mean, I would, yeah, 20 for sure. It will take 20 people. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and I think the limit would be like around 100 or something, as far as I remember. So that's totally okay. I just don't know how much it should be. Like, what is the number of people that? Oh, because some of the people are in the classroom, and that makes sense. Okay, now I got it. Okay, cool. I'll wait. I'm just so excited. I can't. Is that about everyone? I would think so, right? I would hope as many people could join, and okay. I'm actually seeing someone scanning the QR code, so maybe one more minute. I was gonna tell you about me like as you were scanning, but actually the next slide is, oops, I need to go back. No, spoiler alert.
We closed our eyes.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing that. Okay, so this is what we are talking here today. It's obviously I am sure you all know what it is about. Pani Julia asked me to talk about cultural taboos in the US as I know them, and a warning that I'm not an expert on this because I've been here for just 3 years. It's a lot less than years I've lived in Ukraine. So I don't know if I can cover everything in depth enough, but that's just my current perspective, and it is constantly changing. So you are actually seeing something that will probably change for me in a few months or a year. And I think it's a natural thing that our concepts about the culture that we are in are changing a lot. So I just decided to call it Navigating Cultural Nuances because that's how I feel being here as an international student. It was supposed to be an international student perspective, but because it's still on, I kind of being here as an international student, and a teacher as well, I have to constantly remind myself that this is a different culture than what I'm used to, and that I need to be able to navigate this culture, be respectful towards this culture, while also not neglecting my cultural identity, and actually trying my best to show people what it means to be a Ukrainian, because I feel like it's an important thing to do, especially right now in this context. And so I also wanted to talk about demystifying taboos and embracing diversity in the US, because I'm sure you've heard things about the United States that might not be necessarily true, or that you know of this taboo, and it does exist, but it's not all to it. It's not just all surface level stuff. Like there are layers to it that I don't know that we're gonna have enough time to talk about, but I'll try to dig deeper into some of them. And my main point today is that also, even though it seems like US is all such a big culture with similar patterns, but actually US is really diverse with different cultures and religious backgrounds and social backgrounds and political backgrounds. So I hope we can all be mindful of this as we are trying to demystify those cultural perspectives. Okay, this is my intro, and then this is about actually Pani Julia just introduced me, so I'm not gonna give it a long time, and I don't really like that part of, I always try to skip through, like power through introducing myself. I'm like, I don't know, but this is a slide for you if you want to take a minute and read about my research interest and like what I'm doing and have been doing. Take a moment, and then I'll just take you to our main content of today. Okay, I hope that was enough time to read the paragraph. I do wish we had time for me to actually meet you all, I realize that we might not have accommodations to do that today. So I'm hoping to get to know you through your answers, which you'll be hopefully answering during my presentation. It's not just a lecture, it's an interactive presentation. So please be ready to answer my quizzes and surveys. I feel like I will get to know you better through those answers, and that we might have some meaningful interactions along the way. Now, of course, I need to ask you at first, I suppose you came with expectations to this presentation, as you come to any lesson in particular. But for this one, I feel like you knew that I'm coming. You were like, okay, what is she going to talk about? Maybe you had some expectations. So my question to you is, what are you planning to take away from this presentation? And then hopefully, again, if we have time for that, I'll come back to it and see if I was able to hit the spot. I'm gonna start the timer, and then we already have like 3 answers, so I hope that more people will be able to give us some answers. And I can always be flexible with this little timer here. I can make it yeah, add time to that, so don't worry. We still have only 3 answers. Oh, by the way, if you're struggling with like navigating this technology, just let me know, because I didn't know how it was gonna work over Zoom. I never did it over Zoom. I always do it with my students in person. Okay. Oops. Oh, just a quick little question for Pani Julia, but as we are, I just realized something.
Yeah, sure.
I need to know how old are our students typically, because I feel like I might want to adjust some of my
Okay.
content.
I
Yeah.
think 17, 18 or
Okay.
not, or older. Ladies, can you help me? Who can tell
Yeah,
me?
please. I need to know.
Actually.
I want to be a responsible teacher. I don't know if I
Sophia, how old are you, if it's not a secret?
I'm 17.
Okay.
17. Okay. Ira, how old are you?
18.
18. 17. Oh, I guessed.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. That's fine then. I don't think yeah, that okay. I was kind of guessing that too from like the context you gave me before, but I was like, let's just double check to be on the safe side. Okay, we have 15 answers. I'm so excited. Let's see. We can actually skip voting. know. People said more information about culture of America. Somebody said good mood. I love that. Again, can I just like add a heart to no, but I love this. And then enjoy English, get piece of stuff to know more about stereotypes and taboos, new knowledge, new information. Expect to learn something interesting and useful. Presentation related to her research. No, I'm actually not giving. Actually, fortunately, because I'm a little tired of talking about my research interests all the time in my PhD program. It's a little switch for me. I'm not giving anything related to my research interests today. I'm actually usually doing research, as you read about it, in second language writing and AI generated tools, and also gameful learning and education in second language writing instruction. But today I'm not doing it because enough of this. Today you are seeing me as an international person in the US who is trying to navigate cultural spaces, and I'm sharing my experiences and my observations about culture. I hope you're not disappointed though if you wanted to hear more about my research interests. Okay. Moving on, I wanted to see, I wanted to pick your brains on this. When you're thinking of the US, what is the first thing that comes to mind? And with this activity, you should be able to just answer with one word. It's gonna give us like a word cloud of all the words you're thinking. So basically just like the first association that comes to mind. Don't overthink this, okay? We just only have 1 minute. Is that working okay? Because I'm not seeing any. Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Okay. All right. So
We're
I'm
just
like,
thinking.
yeah, no, because like I said, I never tried doing it on Zoom, so I don't know how accessible it is.
I think it's super accessible.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna add some time here. Okay. Okay, I believe a lot of people, okay, wow, we hit 32. That's cool. Let's do this. Show word cloud. Okay. So this is what we are seeing. Okay, I love this. Wait. So freedom, I love how it's a central theme of our thinking. And then we have New York fast food, yes. Eagle, opportunities, good insurance. Okay. Statue of Liberty, technologies, good country. Elvis Presley. Somebody said Elvis Presley. Who is this person? I love Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley is like always on my playlist all the time. I don't know. I hope. Who is this? Can you indicate yourself?
Ladies, who wrote about Elvis Presley? Lada Viktorівна? It's in our classroom.
Okay.
It's in class. One of the students in the class.
Uh-huh. Can we ask her to talk?
Can we ask, yeah, if I don't know if it's doable, but I would love to.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Elvis.
Okay.
Why? Because of the Elvis Presley, famous musician in the world, and he was born in USA, so I think his music and his suits they are very well. I think.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you have a favorite song by him?
All of the songs.
Oh, love cool. I love that energy. Yes, okay. And people said I'm seeing a lot. Thank you for sharing. What's your name? I'm sorry.
My name is Ksenia.
Thank you for sharing, Ksenia. We would vibe on Elvis Presley if it was a different day. But I'm seeing a lot of people saying fast food, junk food. Makes sense that you're thinking of it. Not entirely false. I mean that, yeah, it does exist here. Okay, now coming closer to our actual topic, what are American cultural taboos that you know, and I realize that you might not know, but it's not necessarily, we're not checking your knowledge here. It's just like for me, again, to pick your brains and like see what your thinking is. It's just always interesting to see how things unfold. So I'm gonna start the timer, and then we'll do it again. The same thing. You'll get to see the word cloud one more time, but now we are more focusing on the cultural taboos. And again, don't overthink it, please. Even if you think that, oh, I might be wrong, or like it's surface level stuff, don't worry. It's okay. We just want to see your thinking. Just one answer. Okay, I think people are overthinking a little. I'm sure you have some preconceived ideas, but it's just hard to come up with some on the spot. I understand. Oh, I think what's happening is it's not showing me at first, but then it starts bumping up. Okay, so we have politics, religion, and I kind of expected that, but again, interesting how these are central themes. Everything is allowed. Race, personal space. I don't know, doing drugs. Doing drugs is a cultural taboo. I mean, doing drugs is also illegal, but no, not everywhere actually, if you think about it, but we are not gonna touch this topic today. And then person that umbrella. What?
It was about superstition, something about opening an umbrella in house and bad luck.
Right, okay. Interesting. I didn't hear that too. Like, I mean, okay, didn't know it existed. Some topics during dinner, some offensive words. always tipping. Okay, you're gonna see some of this coming up for sure. Thank you all for sharing. Now, just like some of you said, one main thing is tipping culture. Tipping culture is huge here. Tipping culture is literally a stereotype, but it's a true thing. Usually it's common to tip 15 to 20%, which I think is huge. It's like too much sometimes. At restaurants, taxi rides, and other services, not tipping can be seen as disrespectful, as many workers rely on tips to supplement their income, which I think is not, doesn't tell us something good about their income, but another thing that I've seen in your answers was about personal space, and yes, you're right, I also included it. I felt like from my personal experiences again, and I just want you to remember, I'm probably gonna say 1,000 times more, but this is my personal, very subjective experience because it's always subjective when it comes from one person. I read some research on this, but I'm not going to present any research to you today. So whatever I'm saying, it's literally just my experience, and I don't know that we can generalize too much. All right. So I felt like people respect personal space a lot, and it's customary to keep an arm's length distance in social situation. It's a sign of good manners and consideration for others' comfort. It has always become, it has even become more prominent after COVID-19 pandemics, as you can guess. I feel like from what I've heard from people, again, because I haven't been here before the pandemics, people who are here for longer times, they keep telling me that, yes, I mean, Americans always loved their personal space, but now they're even more considerate of it. And then another thing that I'm going to touch on is about communicating with that, which is like people always prefer to soften their critique and like soften the blow. And I have not seen direct criticism from many people here. I can literally count a number of times when, being here for 3 years, when I was directly critiqued for something. I feel like people, especially when it comes to professional settings, when it's not like your friend or anything, but, professional communication, they do soften the blow all the time. So, any of this surprised you? I feel like I'm not surprising anyone here because I've seen people saying about tipping culture and personal space thing, but maybe softening the critique is something new. So my question for all of our audience, what is surprising for you here about this? What is surprising or unsurprising?
Can I start?
Sure, go ahead.
I surprised by personal space. I thought for Asian culture it's more typical or common to talk about personal space rather than for America.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know that much about Asian cultures, to be honest, but probably it's even more, personal space. But I feel like here it's like I can sit next to a person in the bus, or like if I sit right next to them, it's gonna feel very awkward, and it feels uncomfortable to do that. And like if I'm like on my way and somebody is passing through, right? And if we accidentally touch, or even not really touch, but like almost touch, okay, you know what I mean? They'll be like, sorry, I'm so sorry, and step back. We don't like, even if you don't even touch, even if you're just like very close to touching, but not touch. And they're like, sorry and stepping back. And I also do that because I mean, I've been here for 3 years. I've started to, even if I don't necessarily want to, I pick up some of the habits. So I do say sorry all the time as I'm on my way going somewhere. I'm like, I'm so sorry, because I don't want to invade anybody's personal space. Yeah. Anyone else that you were surprised about, especially if you were surprised by like other things than what Pani Yulia mentioned? You're also silent. You probably are waking up. And it's a little late for me, so I'm like, I don't know. Our time difference is really huge.
Ladies, don't be afraid to speak. Okay?
Somebody raised hand? Yeah, you can go ahead, Anastasia.
I guess it's not really surprising, but things about tipping culture, I guess it's really cool in US because it's like a normal role. And in Ukraine, for example, people really big amount of people think that tipping is not necessary. So it's like a good example for like other country.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your perspective. I think we'll see about that, how good of an example. I feel like I agree with you. Tipping is good, especially because you're showing your appreciation for the person's service. That's a good thing to do. But like as with everything else, balance is crucial, and if I feel like you'll see that in the next step. It can be overdone. It's a little overdone here, so that can become a problem. So I just wanted to check with you. I just wanted to see how how intently you will listen to me and how engaged you were in the discussion. We'll be having these little checks here and there. So please quickly choose the correct answer. Okay, we'll see. I'm sure. Okay, of course, all of you said, tipping 15 to 20. I was sure you were listening to me anyway. Okay, so this is why I was telling you that this can be overdone a little. So people, oh, sorry, it says my internet connection seems to be slow. Am I still audible and is the person?
Everything's still fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Just wanted to check. So, typically the standard tip is between 15 to 20%, like I said. This we can argue about this, knowing when not to tip. Sometimes you're not required to tip. Sit-down restaurant, bars, and hotels, tipping is expected. And if you receive service that goes above and beyond, it's a nice gesture to tip more than the standard amount. But even if you receive service that does not go above and beyond or does not even go up to your standards, you're still expected to tip. So this is a tipping culture video. that I wanted to show you, and this is mainly the reason why I checked your ages, but there we go. It's a short. Can you hear the, I don't know if I'm sharing the audio as well.
Audio is shared.
Okay.
As a normal pizza delivery. The delivery guy hands over the pizza, but he's clearly not happy with his tip, and he has some strong words for the homeowner.
I just want to say, it's a nice house for a $5 tip.
You're welcome. That was rude. The total cost of her order of breadsticks and a medium pizza, $22.78. So the $5 she gave the DoorDash delivery guy comes out to a 22% tip.
So this is what I was trying to say. I saw when Yulia was shocked. Sorry about the language. I feel like we are all good here being 17, 18. You all know this word. So this is what I was talking about. He received 22% tip, which we can all agree. I think we can all respectfully agree that this is a good tip. But he was so rude, and that's what people do. That's when tipping culture is overboard, and it's not okay to do that, I feel. So yeah, who is as shocked as Pani Yulia? Do you want to tell us about your reaction? You're like, maybe somebody agrees with this guy, like, what the heck? She lives in such a rich house, she could give him $20 more. What do you all think?
Just a piece of humor. Maybe it depends on the taste of pizza.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see, she didn't even taste it. She didn't even know. He just handed pizza, and she's like, "Here is your $5 chip," which is again, it's a 5%. It's the 22% of the whole bill. It's not like 5% or 1%. You know what I mean? And then he's not happy. A lot of people are not happy like that. Yeah. As we can say, at least in the least, we can say that he's not happy. Anyway, this is what I want you to do. Reflect on the time. This comes back to what Anastasia just said, where like people in Ukraine don't usually do that. So I want you to think, if you tip before, what factors influenced how much you gave? Or you could think about your friends, parents, whoever, and we can then discuss how this reflects the cultural norms of your country, which is my country too, of our country. And then, yeah, let's do this. You will just need to give some open-ended answers to this. You can even, by the way, for this activity, you can even draw something. You can give us some visuals too, if you wanted, to give us a little scene of what happened between you and the worker. And for, I forgot to say that, but you can read it on the screen. For people who are like in the classroom, I think you can use one device to do this, if it's easier. And also, if you can, you also let me know when I'm going over time, because I feel like I'm already going over time. But there is so much more to share. I can power through some stuff.
We talked here about 40 minutes, but
Yeah.
the first class ends at 5 to 10. Yeah.
Wait, 5.
So we probably finish 10 to 10, like that.
Yeah.
The maximum. Lada Victorina.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm here, so the lecture come yet, and we are still here. We are participating. When the lecture comes, I'll tell you. Okay.
So how much time do we have? Sorry, Lada Victorina.
I need to have 40 minutes, right?
40 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
So,
okay. That's yeah, people like drawing some dollars and stuff. Okay, I want to do that. 15% from order tip, and I think the person was happy. Is this a happy person? Is this a happy waiter? I hope they are. And then somebody said, if it's in a restaurant, I leave a 20% check. Wait a second, are you American? Because I never left 20% check when I was in Ukraine, but okay. Somebody is secretly American here. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. I know that it's all stereotypes and we have quality of service. Okay, that's clear. So is that okay? Maybe I should yeah, let me know still about the time. We have 40 minutes, meaning like they already passed, or I'm still good?
For those who work in the classroom, probably they could like leave us, yeah? And we still, Ladikter, am I right? Sorry.
We continue.
Yeah, and we continue with the rest, yeah?
British people just without saying why, right? But still we are here and we are listening to it.
The connection was kind of bad, so we trying to guess.
We are with you, so and we are working with you because the lecturer hasn't come yet. So, but when the lecturer comes,
I got it.
Meeting, and we may say goodbye right now, but still we are here with you and we are participating.
Thank you. Thank you. I need to make sure that I'm good on time. So yeah, one more thing that I talked about is direct criticism may seem harsh and people always soften it. So there is such thing that I think you may have heard about called sandwich feedback or like sandwich technique. It actually means that you start with positive feedback, you start with something good, and you address the area needing improvement, and then you conclude with encouragement, then you include with something nice again. So let me model the situation. We actually had a video for that, but I don't know that we can watch it because I'm trying to be mindful of time. Let me model this for you. It could be something like I'm grading my students' work, and I will say something like, you did such a great job reflecting on your experiences in the class. So I'm starting with positive feedback. Then I'm saying it would be even more effective if you added A, B, and C. And then I'll say, you're doing great, keep on track. So you see how much positive stuff I'm saying, and like the negative, like quote unquote negative or area for improvement is literally hidden between all the positivity stuff. So I feel like I struggled with it once I came here. I was like, I don't understand what's going on here. Especially as a student, when my professors would give me feedback, and I'm like, and they like, you might want to do this. And I'm like, okay, I might want to. I don't really want to. I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? I might want to, but I don't. Let's just, I'm not gonna do this. And then because I didn't understand how serious it was. Like I didn't understand the gravity of this, you might want to. And then like I'm coming to class next day, and the professor is like, why didn't you do what I asked you? And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. And then slowly I started realizing that this, like, you might want to, or you could have done this. It actually is a direct, yeah, like a directive, a direct guideline that they expect you to follow, and not just, so there is a lot of hedging. I know you're not linguistic people, but I am. So in linguistics, there is such a thing as hedging. So where you say like, you might want to, or I would love if you, like when you soften the blow. But even though they use a lot of hedges, it doesn't mean that they're not serious about what they're saying. Or like, it doesn't mean that they leave it up to you. Or like when say, it's totally up to you. And it's not, it's up to them. So I struggled with it as a student. I think for the first year, I was literally not understanding their feedback, and then I started getting it slowly. And now as a teacher, I always, like, I write something in my feedback, and then like I look at it, I'm like, am I being too harsh? I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, am I being too harsh? Do they feel this like different culture coming from me? I'm trying to soften I'm going back to my like sandwich technique. And we were literally taught to use sandwich technique in our teacher training. And I'm like, okay. And now I'm doing a lot of sandwich technique that I think I'm like, it's too much for me. It's taking all of my energy. But I'm still doing it because some things are expected even though they're not said directly. Okay, now, okay, I think I did it wrong. Okay, there is this video that we're gonna skip. I still want you to do this. Maybe we're gonna do like 30-second slides, but I still want to make sure you do this. Consider a recent situation when you had to give feedback. How did you approach it? Compare your method to the sandwich approach that I just talked about. And then, yeah, let's reflect on this a little. It's like your culture versus sandwich. And again, you can still use some drawings or visuals if you think it would represent your experiences. I think let's maybe take a look at, because again, I'm trying to be mindful of time. Oh, you see, like, well done. Here is my a little piece of encouragement. How do I show it? Okay. I guess my feedback. Oh, wait, sorry. I guess my feedback. can look like something sandwich technique because firstly I, and then it doesn't. Sorry, I think we had a little less time. Oh, I tried to soften my feedback.
We have
If it's
25 minutes for sure, Alon. We have 25
okay,
minutes
fine.
for sure.
I am big on time management. That's why I sometimes overdo. Somebody said I tried to soften my feedback if it's not positive. I think that method is a good way to do it, but could be. Okay, can somebody, whoever did this, it's hard to read from here. I'm trying my best. Can you speak up and like tell us about your approaches to giving feedback to people?
I've written it and it didn't give a full version. It isn't a full version, but I want to say that when I give feedback, I try to say like maybe some negative things, but in a soft way, like not that it's just bad work, but something which is like details. Give more details, and then it feels like you really want to like. Make some better in this work for people, like you want to help them, you really care if you like give a lot of details, I think.
Yeah, yeah, thank you for sharing. So I feel like you mean that if we because like sandwich feedback kind of makes it longer than you would normally do it, right? So it adds unnecessary details. I agree. It's like for me, it's hard to fish out that like, okay, I know that there is a critique somewhere, but where is it? Like in that, let me find it. It's sometimes hard to fish out because all of this like softening styles. And again, I feel like it's a very good practice because why don't we just be nicer to each other? But then if it's done, you know, with critical mindset, if it's like if people are not overdoing it, then I think it's helpful. Thank you for sharing, Sophia. Anybody else would like to share the experience? I want to hear from this person who, oops, I don't know how to close this. Closing. So, somebody here drew this sad face. What does this mean?
Ladies, whose drawing is it? Probably they try to express their mood.
Okay, maybe. But I'm also thinking that maybe it's like the feedback they're giving is not so soft, and so they're not. Yeah, I don't know what it means.
I realized that using that hedges as you spoke about, I thought like giving, I mean, not using sandwich technique, but like leaving the decision for student to decide. I didn't know it was so strict.
I mean, it's not really, so it's kind of tricky, okay? You know, it's kind of tricky, you know what I mean? Like they will say so it's up to the student, and it's most of the time, I mean, no, I don't know. I don't want to overdo it, but there is truly a lot of flexibility in how you choose to express yourself, or like how you're doing the assignment. But then like when there is a lot of flexibility, and it's up to the student what to do in general terms. But when it comes to criticizing, there is they give you feedback, right? So of course you should be receptive of that feedback, for sure, because like otherwise why are you here? Why are you even studying at this program? But for me, I felt like because it is saying you might want to, it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be as receptive. It's like, it's a tricky situation to navigate. And this is why I said like it's all about navigating cultural nuances and spaces, because it's not so clear. Okay, there are no clear rules that are written out for you, but it's like you figure it out as you are doing it, as you keep living in this feedback loop situation. Yeah, so nobody wants to tell us about a sad smiley. Okay, I think we could move on.
Yeah, we could.
There is this, like I told you about personal space. I feel like I talked enough about this. Like again, like I said, if somebody accidentally touches a slightly bit tiny part of your body and they don't mean it, they will say sorry 1,000 times. And you also have to say sorry. Oh, by the way, the thing where they tell, I'm wondering, oh, what did I do here? I'm wondering if you hear, if you've heard this thing, like when you step on somebody's foot and the person whose foot you stepped on will say sorry. You heard that thing? Like, it is true though. If you heard the thing, you think, oh, it's a BS stereotype. It's not. It is true. Like if somebody like accidentally hits you or touches you, and they will say sorry, I'm sorry, and I will say sorry, because I don't know why. Don't ask me why, because that's what people do, and that's what I've learned to do. It's like a reflex already at this point. Like if somebody hits me and they're like sorry, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't need to say sorry, but I do, because that's what people do. You know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's actually a little crazy if you think about it, but yeah. And then we're like, oh no, you don't have to say sorry all together, you know, and it's a whole, it's like, you don't have to be sorry, you're all good. But yeah, it's like that. Anybody wants to ask about any of these points here, understanding personal space, cultural variation, or asking for space?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
I just thought about concert. When you are at the concert and people have to stand close to each other, what do you do in such case?
Oh, I've never. You're like, are you okay leaving the? I've never been to a concert.
Like arm distance, yeah.
No, I've never been to a concert. I'm living a boring life here. I'm living a boring graduate student life. Never been to a concert. Cannot tell you about this. But like
next
once,
our meeting,
yeah,
probably you'll share something.
I mean, I hope. I don't know. Let's see where this PhD life takes me. But one time I went to the. Oh, this is another cultural stereotype, which is also so true. Americans are big on sports. Have you ever heard this? Say like everything is about sports. Every single school will have sport teams. They will always compete with each other. When it's a game night, when something is happening, people will drive from far away to see the game night. All the streets will be blocked. Public transport will not be there because it's a game night. It means a lot to them. People get athlete scholarships, which is like if you are an athlete, you will get paid. You like get a stipend, and that's how you get your funding for the school. They are actually getting a lot of money, athletes, especially like if they're good at what they're doing, you know, good professionals. But yeah, so I went to a baseball game here, like at the University of Arizona. Women team is really strong. It's like a US level strong. So I went to this game with my classmates. Yeah, people will stand close to each other because there is no other, like there is no other way, right? You have to do that. But I feel like they are so uncomfortable. You could feel, I don't know how to explain it. Like you could feel the tension in the air because of how uncomfortable everyone is. And again, if still they touch you, they'll be like, sorry, sorry, sorry. And it goes on and on and on. But I think the other reason why they might be, it's not funny anymore when you think about the underlying reasons of why people are so nervous, is because they're actually scared that somebody's gonna shoot people, or somebody's gonna get a gun out and start shooting. It's actually so common here. We had one of the professors at the University of Arizona was shot in 2022. Their student shot them. Their ex-student came to the class and shot them dead. It happens all the time. So honestly, the reason why people are so uncomfortable is, I think, because they are really scared that if somebody starts being aggressive, if you like accidentally hit them and they are aggressive, you don't really know whether they have a gun on them or not. I don't know if you know that, but gun handling is legal here. Anybody can own a gun. I can own a gun if I wanted to. That's actually the reason why people are so tensed. They don't know, like you touch them, they don't know how you're gonna react. And they do this. They're like, because look, I have nothing on my hands, It's like, if you think about the reasons, it's actually a little scary and dangerous. Yeah, I didn't mean to make it dark, but it's true, but that's what it is. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it dark. I'm just like, this is a big problem here, and people, yeah, it's a huge problem. So like, I think during my study here for 3 years, shooting on campus happened about 15 times, at least like 15 to 20 times. It's a normal thing, kind of, normal, quote unquote. And we have special training to what I know that now professors in Ukraine also have that training, but of course, because of the war, like what do you do, if something extreme situation happens? I have colleagues in Ukraine who teach, I know how it works, but here we also have special training where like, if a shooter is in the building, what do you do? Where do you hide? How do you lock the classroom? What do you tell the students? We have this kind of training. And I always pray that it will not happen in my class. It will not happen during my class time because I don't know. I think I know what to do in theory, but like, yeah, scary stuff. Anybody wants to say something? I know it's hard to comment, but like, I don't know. Any comments or questions to this? Okay. Okay, let's just move on to the next thing. Oh, this is again, navigating sensitive topics. I'm sure gun control, didn't mean that, but like gun control, death penalty in the US exists still. You know what death penalty is, right? Right, when the person is the criminal and the judges can actually kill them if they find them guilty. Then abortion is another very hot topic, especially now. I don't know if you've heard about it, but last year they canceled the like abortion right, and people are still fighting for it. Women mostly, but people also still fighting for it. So it feels like they went 50 years back, you know, which is, it doesn't make sense in 2023 to do that, or 2022. So yeah, people, it's always a sensitive topic. It's like always a sore topic. If you don't know a person, it's actually a little bit dangerous to start talking to them about like religious politics. And this is from like people who've been living here for some time. They said to make joke comments about sex, race, religion, fads, gays, class groups, US wars, communism, or their politics. Stick to smile and not mode on any of this topic. I don't really do that because I'm like, I don't know if I want to smile or not. But I'm a little apprehensive still. I will say my opinion openly, but in my mind, in my heart, I'm like, am I like, is it okay? Am I really safe? But I'm still saying it, but it's a little it's a dangerous a little bit, like in terms of not like I'm not scared that they will do something, but like how it will affect our communication in the future. Like, you know what I mean? Any questions about this? Okay, so I'm gonna show you. This is from my campus. It was last semester. So I'm sure you probably know pro-choice and pro-life. It's again about abortion. That's why I ask people's ages, but again, I feel like we're all adults here. We can talk about these things. And what they did, some pro-choice activists, they actually literally display. There is like a huge billboard screen that I sure you know we also have them in Ukraine, like a very big billboard screen, and they started displaying abortion photos that I think actually are not real. Well, I'm not a medical doctor or anything, but they looked fake or made up. And it's like about like dying babies and inside and all the little bodies crumpled, and it's showing, it's such a graphic content, like so graphic that, and it's all on big screen, and you cannot, even if your eyesight is so bad like mine, my eyesight is literally like -3 on both eyes, and I still could see it, you know, because there's such huge pictures. And they're like, okay, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't be killing babies. Blah, blah, blah. And then I stopped and talked to them, but it's they are so aggressive also. They're so aggressive. Yeah, so that is why it's not brought up in casual conversation, and it is taboo to ask women if they have, I'm sure I mean, it's not only about US, obviously, but like, because you never know if you're into pro-choice or pro-life person. They also have pro-choice people who will be like going around campus and like saying, can you please sign the petition for abortion rights for women? And it's nice that they're doing it, but I can never do this because I cannot sign anything here. I'm not a citizen, I'm not a resident, I cannot sign. But yeah. So it's another hot topic, basically, of discussion. Any questions?
I think it's kind of philosophical also aspect.
I mean, it is, but exactly, I agree. Like, you don't have to agree on something, but what I'm trying to say here is the means that they're communicating. I think this is extremely manipulative and disrespectful to show graphical images of that little baby, bodies on huge screens to make sure that people see, because I haven't even, but like, we can think of people who, have been to war and things like that, and they've seen, it's just not respect. I don't know, you shouldn't be doing this stuff. And they can be pro-choice and all, but I feel like the communication styles that they're using are not right. And then you cannot say anything to them because they're like, it's a freedom of speech here. It's a freedom of speech. And you're like, okay, I don't know. I don't know what you mean here. You're being disrespectful and you are not. And I mean, there are some women who like they they cannot get a baby or they lost a baby, and what is gonna happen to them if they see this image? You know what I mean? Like, this is not how they should this is not how they should navigate this conversation.
I think we agree on that.
Yeah. I mean, there are civil ways to talk about these things, I think. It's too much, it's too dramatic, the thing that they are doing. I'm like, and I think they had to, like, somebody complained and then like police authorities came and they had to take it down. But still it was there for like a good few hours. I wouldn't say like 4 to 5 hours on campus. Everybody could see. Yeah.
Harsh.
It's hard. It's yeah. I hated that. I was like, what are you trying to do here? Yeah. Okay, now now let's do this. A little break. In the US, which topics can be contentious to discuss during meals? And you can give your answers. Somebody said something in the chat. Oh, she had to leave. Natalia Volodymyrovna. She said, thank you very much for the meeting. Yeah.
Head of our department has to leave because we have scheduled activity next offline.
Right. Actually, you have so many activities. I wish I could be there with you. It's so fun.
We wish it too.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Natalia.
Dear Alona, thank you very much for your being here with us, for preparing this class, this meeting. It was very interesting, fruitful, and amazing, and we'd like to continue our cooperation with the practical approach and maybe scientific and methodological approach. Thank you very much. Thank you, dear students. Thank you, Julia Viktorovna, for organizing such event. I have to leave the class because we have some other work. Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye. See you next time. I
hope so. I'm so looking
Goodbye.
forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for your kind words. Bye. See you again. And then people say guns and politics. That's what it's contentious. I'm not sure if you use the word contentious. I shouldn't have used it, but it's like it's not advisable to just.
Is it like controversial?
Yeah, controversial. Yeah, controversial is another. It's like a similar word to that. Yes.
Thank you.
So guns and politics. Okay, you can all write this word down if it's a new word for you. I didn't anticipate that, but I'm happy we are also learning something outside of just US cultural taboos. Guns and politics is something contentious to discuss. That's correct. And then this is our exit ticket, almost, kind of. This is why Natalia Viktorovna was almost on time. After today's discussion on respecting personal space, navigating physical boundaries, where we talked about like people being very careful about, physical interaction, how would you appropriately respond if someone invades your personal space in a cultural context in the US? So now I want you to imagine that you were in the US, and please try to think a little bit about the things that I told you, like how people react and all that. How would you navigate this situation? And I think I will add a little time, so let's do this. we have some, oops. Okay, I'm gonna wait because I think a lot of people gave some interesting answers. I'm excited to see them. We're almost there. Okay, let's do this. And then oh, it's taking a minute. I don't know why it's. Should I say show results? Okay, now it's, yeah. I would say sorry and go to another space because I don't want to provoke them. Okay, I think somebody got really affected, but what I told about gun violence and gun culture makes sense. Yes, I feel like you never want to provoke. Somebody said, excuse me, could you give me a little more space, please? This is a beautiful way to phrase it. I never say that. I'm always like, sorry. I never make a full sentence. But yeah, this is a beautiful way to phrase it. I appreciate it, but I prefer a bit more space. Thanks. Okay, that's nice. Re-establish the comfortable personal space boundary. Exactly, that's a good one. That's what people do actually. Anyways, they just like step back. They step back, where they they do this or they step back. Like it's just all about nonverbal cues here, right? And there's I will stand up for my boundaries and rights because I respect people's personal boundaries, and they should do the same. I agree. Okay, somebody said, I would say that I'm uncomfortable and stress is bad for my health. I mean, exactly. Why are you making me stress here? Yeah, but honestly, and raise my hands to show that I'm safe. And also I would avoid contentious topic. I love how someone said contentious, so you were using the vocabulary from the previous activity. As politics, gun shootings, and whatnot, and smile. Somebody is actually learning all the lessons. I don't know who is that person. Who is that? Ready to come to the US? I'm just kidding. I'm just like being. But yeah, no, you're just like using all the lessons that I say. Who did that?
It was me.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's funny. That's what I thought. Anyway, but I was like, who is such a good student? But no, I loved all of your answers. I especially like how I feel like you all understood my point where like why people are doing that. And we are seeing kind of the deeper reasons to why this is happening. And I love how you're all respectful towards other people's personal spaces. And actually, this was not exact exit ticket. I have one more. This is just, I've already shared this presentation with Panulia, and like I have not completed it yet. But what I'm trying to do here is I will add some articles here, some materials. Like this one is about tipping culture is out of control. And then something that kind of challenges the taboos and stereotypes we talked about. I'm also gonna add one which says like something like, is American culture even there? Do Americans have culture? So like something that challenges usual stereotypes. And I will, because I shared it with Panulia, I'm sure she will be able to share it with you.
Sure.
So I hope that you can come back to it and read, especially on the topics, because I'm expecting to add more topics to it, a variety of topics. So on the topic that you are interested in, and then later I'm also planning to create a Flipgrid. I don't know if you've ever used a Flipgrid in your classroom. But it's like, it's very simple to navigate. It's like this video platform. You go to this platform, which is where you can just create a small video of yourself talking about something, like 1-2 minute video. And why I'm going to be doing that is because for any one of you who would like to continue the conversation going and express their opinions on, this is just one, but like I said, I'm going to add more. On any of these issues, you could go back, you could go to this video, video platform and do, and just like tell me what you think. And that way I'll see your faces, I'll hear your voices once again. And I feel like we'll keep the conversation going, because I just don't want to stop there and make it just a lecture, but I want to continue the interaction. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm done. I know I took a lot more time than I was supposed to.
Just 2 extra minutes. Just 2 extra minutes. We would like to thank you so much. I couldn't express how much we appreciate your being here today with us, knowing the time difference, knowing the tough schedule. It's almost impossible. Yeah, and our work situation and all the factors which influenced the meeting today. So I'm so grateful, and I'm sure my students would agree with that as well. Thank you for a lot of new information, and we hope to see you on the next lectures.
I also hope to be able to join your. I appreciate you giving me the space. I've never actually talked on this topic before, so it's a new experience for me. Yeah, and it's a little different on Zoom. I love how everyone is giving me hearts. I'm also giving you hearts. Thank you for being here today and for listening and actively engaging. Like I said, I'll create this video platform thing where you can go and keep adding your comments. And I cannot promise you that I will be regularly checking it out, but I will be checking it out eventually. And it will be interesting to hear what you think. All right, I'll say bye and I'll go to sleep. And for you all, you just have a great day. And yeah, I hope you'll have a quiet day.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you again.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. See you.
Bye, everyone.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.